Hello Commanders, you are on Channel 9 Games and on your screens the legendary CNC General Zeroer. Today, Ukrainian players under nicknames will immerse us in the world of tactics and strategy. The game played with us in the top position under the green color for China Infantry. She plays Magesta orange color against him. Also from Ukraine for the USA, Laser's Black Hole map. The map is interesting in that there is one cannon on the left and right in the center for 1 and 2 players, while we have players. I would like to ask you to ring the bell, and also do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and do not forget that there are also live channels on which you can watch live streams if you have problems with YouTube. Well, let's watch how events develop in our game. The green color starts the game through the airfield of 2 barracks. This means there will be a fast helix. I'm preparing mages for this helix. It's not clear yet. 1 Hummer went from mages through the center. After 2 towers, there are already minigunners behind the game, which are ready to start capturing at any moment. All capturing has been learned, and the infantry is gathering, and you take Alik out of the airport. In the meantime, Magesta has brought your Hummer closer to the base of the game, and they immediately hit the forehead with a laser. Bulldozer, but the bulldozer still managed to leave on snot. Alik barely survives. Felix is already in the air. This pyro bunker is also learned. Everything is fine. Telex won't let you just take your bulldozer, and the game flew in response to take revenge for the failed attempt to attack Mayisa. Majesto would now have to meet this very Helix. 2 more cameras went through the center, but then here, Helix meets one of the Hamlers too. Still no, he doesn't leave, but forced Alex to return to his base for repairs, otherwise he would be lost. Still, the military factory will come later. Yes, this is how to build your military factory in a day. The tactic was for Gaiman's quick attack by Felix. It did not bear fruit, but helped for the defense. Well, Magesta's too. It is not feasible to advance proactively. The infantry disembarked from Helix, traveled further for repairs, and the infantry remains in Vigrada on the path of Pomers that Magesta targets for his attacks. Mage's attacks, although unsuccessful, were commendable attempts, albeit somewhat grandiose. If they don't remember, the bulldozer survived and he still continues to build in such a broken state. Well, there is a military factory nearby. It can be repaired in principle. I removed the flank of this card. There are boxes, and they also send a rocket man there so that, well, you never know. The bulldozer will go there, you can catch him. And another attack from Magesta. Attempt to knock out an oil rig. Well, the tower is alive, and there are already MiGs, which in principle should be able to cope with the cameras together, even having already managed to learn and attack MiGs. Well, 4 minutes of play is fast enough. Inna is already full of us. He OPAM on the flank of the club base. For the day we hung the drone, Bruno was destroyed. There Magesta goes into active resource extraction from the map. The map is large, wide throughout. Boxes have been dropped throughout this map. They can in principle be collected. They are located plus or minus in neutral territory. Furthermore, you will have to contend for them, be it a solo player or with another. They constitute a player base. Weak in terms of resources, there are main resource docks and boxes on the left for top players and boxes on the right for bottom players. That is if they run out, but you will need to master this map in some way, and the map is rich in resources. In essence, you can enjoy the entire game even with an unconventional economy, provided it operates effectively. However, if this strategy falls through at a certain juncture, you will need to consider the secondary economy of airborne MiGs. The designated objectives of Bojest's surface in the strategic center. Tactics are employed swiftly to identify and neutralize them, enabling Hammer to enhance the range. Well, plus the Avengers use the laser generals go. The Avengers are quite cheap. The flag strikes the strategic center with 4 mega simultaneously. A bulldozer is nearby, but the strategic center continues to burn, lacking sufficient durability to endure this assault. Even the proximate bulldozer that attempted repairs did so with limited success. Ultimately, the bulldozer loses in the game, leaving just one builder remaining. If he loses, it will be sad. Majesta itself already has a command center, afraid that they will lose their bulldozers somewhere, and still there are Megs in the air. It will be difficult to defend against them. The wide map of the Avengers is not enough for the entire map, and MiGs may appear at the most unfortunate moment and leave Bodger without. In principle, he does not need the Poet's builders, and the command center is immediately rebuilt in advance. They are still building it, mainly when level 3 is reached. The MiGs lost were extremely unfortunate. There are also displacers here, and they destroyed everything possible. Well, Hummers. Majestas have been preserved. There is an outpost. The outposts are basically useless when in a group with Hammers. With Hammers, there are Avengers who will simply destroy these missiles on their approach to the Hammers on the left flank of the base from the gesture. There is a stray outpost, which can, by the way, create a problem, but it is trying to meet Laserlock and Rocketmen, and sort of successfully. The devastated outpost left some infantry behind, and they succeeded in mining the strategist center, though it's not particularly alarming or critical. Books still fly in the air. They are now used as reconnaissance on the map. But they are also where there is still a base of Umad gestures and is destroyed immediately. The laser turret is destroyed immediately. Ibid. You thought there was no base here. There is no base here. Regrettably, Zagima must scout for lost games on the map for retrieval. Interestingly, the knife is quite proficient in this task. He has additional resources generating ample extra income. Towers, by the way, there is still a whole game, which cannot be said about Majesta. Only one tower remains under control, intact. Well, until this moment, Divine mainly tried to play from defense. Now we see that he is going on the attack. Several cameras in support for 3 Avengers. Try now earlier here. In principle, everything in those games has been closed. All 3 passages are quite tight. Although blocked, breaching will be quite challenging as it seems fortified. There is also an additional resource center at the game. Well, money of course will run out sooner or later, and he certainly wouldn't want them. To lose and be left without money, he has to go into additional loot. One oil rig has been destroyed. Colonel Barton is already in the center. Well, it will be a bit difficult to get through there, and the Dobrova bomber flew. Currently, the endeavor appears unsuccessful. Minus, you managed to throw yourself on the plane? Well, the attempt, of course, by Majesta to go on the attack has not yet had any special success. Yes, of course, the tower for the game is lost, but the base itself is still intact and unharmed below. There are 2 minigunners standing here. Well, most likely there will be a capture if, of course, gestures don't crush them before they go about their business. Next to you on the flank of the card, this gesture contains 1 Hummer. He stands there more like a scout, so that there is no gay man there somewhere. I didn't find a loophole, and in general, if you look at it this way, Majesta seems to have intelligence everywhere, he hung up drones as much as possible on him and was doing it right as much as possible. If you see what's happening on the map, then it's already big for you. Plus, it's basically fine. As long as he stands Legioner, no one presses them, no one strangles them normally and tries to cling to the territory, to the game. He's basically fine. There are enough boxes there, in principle, and it's not bad, so... Engage in media mining mode, work on PV Avenger, unfortunately. For Majesta, they do not survive, and only 2 Hamers remain. 1 Hamer and... Another cell remained poor, unhappy, but you can't go much further there. Colonel Barfel also worked, but dominated, the building passed, found a weak spot. Did you break through? Temporarily, while the belly of the game is turned off, the copper light continues to be in the air. A new power plant must be built behind the game. There are no major critical problems with the base. Now all our main attention is focused on Majesta's attacks, and they all happen near the base from the game. Then in the center, mines were dropped earlier on one of these mines, and a Hummer blew up. Not so critical loss, but still a loss occurred. These money chambers are especially crowded with infantry. Good money spent there, huh? The carpet flew, the bomber flew, and it flew really badly. Amaram was very successful this time. It was repelled artillery. The power plant stood, if I'm not mistaken, but in principle it is not critical for Majest, but the power plant. The new power plant has already been built. The electricity has not disappeared. Everything is fine. Well, the game is like a swing, then the water is in the other direction, and Z game has MiGs. Resource extraction is also carried out on the main base. The money for the game has run out. It is now up to the game to start extracting residues from the entire map, and the situation for Majest is exactly the same. The money on the main base has also run out, and they have to fight to continue the game. Battles. Look for extra boxes throughout the map, open them for yourself, and start picking them up. So he does the same for Gay. In principle, the situation is identical in Majesty. By the way, there is still no 3rd rank from 3rd rank. He will have the opportunity to use snipers quite well, and against an Infantry General. They do a good job of solo units, but the game has 4 rounds, and he shoots more cameras. Mines were laid. The Avengers use a laser cannon here. Well, here, by the way, I used it well. The military plant lost green money. By the way, publications are worth well, not strength, taking into account the fact that the resources on the map have run out. So for the game, every lost building is actually a tangible loss. He will have to, Anton, they are being rebuilt again if the type of unit was ordered there. Especially if this is the airfield of thought by Grins was lost here because of sadness and trouble. Double is used, and 10 does not want to extract resources. He doesn't want Magus to be mined by his rival. Money. On the map itself, continuing such small battles or single units from the game simply destroy everything here, destroy bulldozers, destroy everything. Another cow bomber and also successful. All units that were collected from Majesta are lost. Well, this is a tangible loss, he said. He has arrived very strongly. Majesty will have to accumulate money again, order this all the time. This is all the resources. Heavy confrontations cost every penny. New military airfields appeared near Zagim. But there is already Colonel Barton here, who will now mine. Very actively working Mages on his Colonel Barton alone. The airfield has already been destroyed. Persego will be next. There is another one on the line. A new military plant will be built there. Well, for the game, you can see that the money is sinking a little. Here is the gesture. There is still one oil production tower. Now the events on the map are becoming more due to the fact that players have to go wide, but since they are not heralds, and it is very difficult for them to control all areas of the map. Another airfield was lost and Colonel Barton destroyed it. And the map is big, and you can't tell the unit, so you can't move very well. Directly close all the weak points, and this of course begins the fermentation. There are events like this on the map, there are events here, and you may not even have time to see everything somewhere. The attempt was to stop again. Well, in principle, the Avengers won't go far. There is a stationary Gatling here, it's not so easy to get through there, and as long as each player remains in his own economic situation, it will probably still be more interesting. Majestas are trying everywhere, of course, to prevent them from knocking down Chinooks. They collect boxes, but this. Some were successful, some were unsuccessful people's actions. Mom Majestovsky resources and receives an art blow was used against the art platform. Zim has already run out of boxes on the left flank. We have to look even further, and there it is already starting. Such a mini base from Majesta. Majesty's reign. But on the left, that on the right, his territory is under control. The territory, well, they are again using ART Koprov bombing. But this time, when the bombing was not that good, MiGs came next, and in principle, the situation was corrected a little. Of course, only Hammer remained, but the additional losses were computed. People are very active in their promotions. In response, Majesta actively used their super weapons, and the game base became increasingly scarce. Weaker losses are large, creating bunker features. Okay, at least I haven't lost my infantry for Rada. So of course you will have to fight for neutral territory, where a fairy tale gesture is trying to hold on there like a carpenter. With all sorts of other enhancements used, they try to throw mines, throw carpets, and then throw something else here. By the way, he took in the races reset infantry. By the way, maybe it will help him? But by the way, there is nothing to defend here. This territory will come a creation to sell no rod, like Colonel Barton budget, but the only question is, will he make it? Or if you don't have time, you have time to tie up all the mini galleys. In principle, everything is fine in this regard. Amy's bomb was dropped here, but the infantry are already on their own. Even without the support of stupid age and so on, it comes from the game. Just runs. But at only the 4th rank of Matesta, the shore of snipers begins to help him. One sniper can simply put this whole group in a matter of seconds, and he will basically have nothing for it. Well, let me look at the 3rd rank. He's also pretty good at the 4th rank. He's still an infantry general. He's kind of strong. Yes, if June is there about mass and so on. But when does Garvin Gell meet a sniper? The face of his power turns to dust. There it is necessary to use for additionally the video technique of the command outpost. Telexon, but you can't leave the media guys in with their own socks. How can they just be shells? But now this is happening. I don't know how he was just shot. Plus, hi, everything is fine. This is the Colonel. The partners are still alive and have not been destroyed. It has a lot of parts. In fact, Colonel Parton has now brought a lot of benefit to the deities where he has to sell empty resource centers. Otherwise, well, he's lucky not to see money. This is extremely lacking in the secondary economy. There is no god, which is the same thing. And there is no tariff economy in Majesty. Madrista's attempt to attack all field Planga was unsuccessful, very unsuccessful. Here it seems that a group of domestic energy companies are landing, but before the Snyders. Edema of the lips worries the land's life sees. Nemo, but I am not. There and how they ate, by the way, Alik is quite naughty now. Directly responsible for flying base, uncovered by any longer. If only his armor is trying to catch at least all the leaks the lake sputtered. They all wanted to catch only one other. It needs to be played very carefully, not telling them. This means that there is not a shield. He will lose such a chance, but the TV is too further. So you fire him. Finally, I won't always learn to destroy him. Well done. It's not there either. There's a command center here. What kind of command center? I think it takes a very long time to use it. The boys run for a long time using the laser beam bag again. The airfield, but the drawing center, he more or less comfortably forgot the resources. Well, of course, it was lost on a beam cannon. Yes, because of the laser card I hit the damn thing. And the remains of the base Margest are ugly. In fact, I lost the airfield here. I have to sell everything. Well, the game seems to have a good chance, but there is not enough money. Now, if we had more money for the game, we wouldn't have Heli, we would still lose it. Helic was extremely valuable for the game, but Majesta has what remains: the barracks, the strategic center, the laser edge, and the money. That's what about Majesta there is money. Again, there is a reset.
Promotions to the hall with games reset infantry, but it is already there.
Here, as here before, stories have been used carpet bombing. They don't want to let Majesty build Semigi are also used. Yes. Fort and Parton destroyed the only airfield that was from the game, and now there is nowhere to land from the game.
Nowhere to put your doctors? The problem is a very serious problem. Now there is an airfield for the Magi game. No, now they will just lose them. We have to sell the extra ones. We need to build a new airfield.
It's just scary how to build it, but by the way, this boss sank. He did a lot of dirty things for the game. He would blow up the building there, then blow up the building here, then help fight back there.
Infantry was deployed by a homosexual. I did a lot. Colonel Parton led the task.
For those who, by the way, do not know Majest, he is a sportsman. He is Delox. These are all his nicknames that he used in different time periods, playing the 007 circuit there, playing the same 0 hour. A fairly well-known player. Now consistently excels in games.
He's from Kharkov.
And we see that Vasily is the name of the game.
Quite a young guy.
Such a heated confrontation in terms of the use of their units.
Who are the mages there? They are still pushing the game. What do you think about this game? In the comments for the game, it seems to me that he lacked a little experience. It's just that Majesta played the whole game as his Colonel Barton, who simply had a nightmare for the game. The game was missing a Black Lotus, but I didn't see a propaganda center there during the entire game. In principle, he probably didn't need it. And for what? Probably he still paid. If there was a black lot, he would run in somewhere and try to take over the building in an insidious way. While aesthetically appealing, sadly a homosexual man doesn't possess as much valuable unit efficiency, resulting in slight strategic miscalculations. We concur with Ares' observations. But I'm not saying goodbye myself yet.
Thank you.